Hey guys, it's Chris at Highline Guitars. You're watching another one of my YouTube guitar building videos. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope that by the end of this video, I'll have earned the honor and privilege of your subscriptions. A while back, a viewer asked if I could demonstrate the techniques that I use for installing a guitar neck into a guitar body. And I responded by giving a quick description of the process that I use. In fact, I think I included links to videos that I have made in the past where I demonstrated the techniques. And this person responded back by saying, that's all well and good, but I need a technique that's easier, something that doesn't require skill, experience, or specialized tools. Well, I didn't have an answer for him because the techniques I used for installing a neck do require some special tools and some skill and experience to do it correctly. I tried to explain it and demonstrate it as clearly as possible, but they wanted something even easier. Well, time went by and I got another question from a viewer who wanted to know how to glue a fretboard onto a guitar neck. So again, I provided an explanation of the process I use, the tools that I use, and again, I think I included at least one or two links to videos where I demonstrate how I do the process. And again, this person responded with the same responses the previous viewer had. He wanted a technique that was easier to do, one that didn't require specialized tools, skill, or experience. So I responded, and this time I did have an alternative method that I explain, and that is what you see here demonstrated on this guitar. And that process is you simply glue the fretboard to the neck, and then you wrap it with an old bicycle rubber inner tube, and you pull it really, really tight as you wrap it. And that provides great clamping power, and it does a great job of clamping the fretboard down. You don't need specialized tools. You don't need any skill or experience. Well, he responded back by saying, that looks pretty sketchy. I'm not sure that you can get good clamping power with a bicycle inner tube. Now, I can understand how somebody without the experience would say that, but the reality is it works extremely well. And I know a lot of other luthiers and guitar builders who use this same technique and do so successfully. But that wasn't what he was after. He wanted something even easier that, I don't know, didn't involve any sort of tools or experience. So then, not too long ago, I got yet another comment from a viewer who wanted to know what my process is for painting faux binding onto a guitar body. And I responded that I've never done that, and I don't think I ever would. If I'm going to put binding on a guitar, I'll put binding on a guitar. I'm not going to paint it on. Now, I have done faux binding where you stain the top of a guitar, usually like a flame maple top. Then you take a razor blade and you scrape the stain off of the top 1/4 inch of the wood all the way around the perimeter, and maybe a 1/16 of an inch into the top all the way around uniformly. And this is a technique that requires, the only specialized tool is the razor blade, but it does take some skill and experience to pull it off successfully. However, I've never painted binding on a guitar, and I never would. But these questions kind of got me to thinking about, why are people suddenly asking for tips and tricks that don't exist? And I think what has happened is there are a huge variety of videos on YouTube, DIY, do-it-yourself, tips and tricks videos that explain techniques and methods that appear to be incredibly simple and very easy to do. And you've probably seen a lot of the videos I'm talking about. And it doesn't necessarily have to be just about guitar building or guitar repair. I've seen these videos in woodworking, car repair, gardening, cooking, just about any hobby that humans can have. There are YouTube videos with tips and tricks about how to do them. And some of these tips and tricks are made to look incredibly simple and easy to do, that anybody could do them. And I find myself sometimes watching these videos and I'll think to myself, wow, what a brilliant idea. Why didn't I think of that? But then in reality, a lot of those tips and tricks don't always work the way you would expect them to. But the problem is, I think that we have all gotten conditioned by these videos to think that no matter what we're trying to do, there's got to be a tip or a trick, a brilliant tip or trick that will help us do it and almost guarantee us success every single time. Well, when it comes to building or repairing guitars, there really aren't any shortcut life hack tips and tricks. A lot of what we do requires specialized tools, skill, and experience. And unfortunately, that doesn't sit well with a lot of folks who are trying to do things. You know, maybe you're trying to level frets, so you start watching videos on how to level frets, and you're hoping for that one video that says, you know, I can show you how to level frets with no special tools, no experience or skill necessary. But they just don't exist. Now, I have seen in recent years tools that are being introduced to the world of luthiery that are supposed to make the processes easier. And most of these tools have to do with fret leveling and crowning. But I've tried many of them, and I can tell you from experience that a lot of those tools to be successful require a lot of experience and skill to use it. You can't just hope to buy a fancy fret crowning file and expect to get success the first time out. There's a chance it's not going to work the way you expect it. What you have to do is practice. And I often tell people, before you commit to performing a task on your prized guitar, you really should be practicing on an old, used, or a cheap budget guitar that you buy off AliExpress. And then you can learn those techniques before you commit to doing it to your prized guitar. And it just makes it a lot easier and less frustrating down the road. But unfortunately, we've just gotten so accustomed to seeing all these different YouTube videos that show us how to do things with little effort, experience, or skill that we naturally hope that there's going to be this great video that shows you how to make a scarf joint for a headstock. And you don't need any specialized tool skills, and the technique would be incredibly simple and only takes you minutes to do it. But that's just unrealistic. Unfortunately, for me as a YouTube content creator who works on and builds guitars, I keep getting questions from people who I think are clearly under the influence of these life hack DIY videos on YouTube, which makes things a bit challenging for me, because then I have to kind of bring them down, back down to earth and tell them, you know, unfortunately, you're going to have some skill and experience to do what it is you want to do. Recently, I did a video where I commented about a tool that I had seen, which is supposed to take all the guesswork out of doing fret work. And I was really skeptical that this tool would work. Part of my skepticism came from the fact that there were other folks who had tried it and didn't have the kind of success they thought they would have. So to warn my viewers, I did a video where I kind of talked about that a little bit. But I think looking back on that, the guy who introduced that tool, maybe not purposely, and perhaps inadvertently, he's playing on the perceptions of the customer who is influenced by these DIY videos that they see all over YouTube, and hoping that there must be some way to do fretwork that doesn't require lots of skill and experience. So he brought this tool to market. Unfortunately, I don't think it has lived up to the expectation. So I think in the end, if you're going to build or repair guitars, you're just going to have to accept the fact that some of these techniques require skill and experience to pull them off. You can watch YouTube videos like mine And in fact, that's why I do this, is to sort of give you an idea of what's going to be involved. But then you're going to have to go and test it out yourself and practice on a guitar that you can afford to sacrifice and learn how to do those techniques. It's really the best way to do it. So I hope you found this video to be interesting. One thing I would like to ask of you who are watching, if you had experiences like this where you've watched a YouTube video and then tried to do the work and it didn't work, let us know. If you found techniques that you thought were brilliant and they actually did work, let us know as well. And, you know, go ahead and include links to those other videos. I'll allow those so that you can share those experiences with other people. But I just tend to think that we're kind of in a situation with YouTube where there's that illusion of success just from watching a video and not really gathering up the correct tools and the skill and experience. So again, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If so, give it a thumbs up. Visit eguitarplans.com or my Highline Guitars merch store. There's links in the description below. And any purchase you make there is going to help support this channel, because I don't do Patreon, and at this time, I'm not doing memberships or anything like that. So one of the ways that I can support this channel is the sale of the plans and t-shirts and stuff that I sell on those sites. So be sure to hit those. And if you want to keep it simple, you can click the thanks button and leave a tip in the amount you think is fair. At any rate, I'll let you go now, and I hope that you'll be back for more future guitar building videos.